Tonight, the New York Rangers check the Late Show stuntman, plus James Caan, Nelly Furtado, and U.S. Spy Top 10, and questions from the audience. First, your local news.
I'm Dee Griffin. How would you like it if a law says that you cannot buy a CD if it has this symbol under it and you're under 18? It could come true. I'll tell you about it.
Another scandal envelops the Clintons. This one is said to be terribly damaging for the new Senator Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Plus, don't go and get drunk tonight, but there is word that some alcohol could actually have a health benefit. Denise has that story coming up.
And good evening, I am Denise DeCenzo along with Dennis House.
All the night's news starts right now.
Now, Eyewitness News Night Beat.
Good evening. Tonight, a Connecticut lawmaker is stepping up efforts to crack down on what your children can and cannot buy when it comes to music.
Right now, CDs and cassettes are marked with a parental advisory, but children can still purchase the music. One legislator at the state capitol now wants to change that.
Channel 3's Dee Griffin is here with details. Dee.
Dennis and Denise, a few years ago, the music industry voluntarily chose to mark CDs and tapes that feature cursing and advocates violence, like those of Eminem. Well, still, kids are allowed to buy the music. Well, now Senator John Kissel is sponsoring legislation that would make it illegal for a child under the age of 18 to purchase CDs and tapes with explicit lyrics. As you can imagine, the idea is striking a sour note with some teens.
Shirley Ortiz and her 9-year-old daughter Shailene share a love for music and a love for buying CDs, but they don't always share a love for the same artist.
Not everybody that she wants to listen to, I let her listen to.
Although she listens to a variety, Shailene says the Backstreet Boys is her favorite group.
I like their music, and they don't cuss or nothing.
While explicit language turns her off, it turns other kids on, and that has State Senator John Kissel concerned.
At some point, if you have this violent content, this hate speech, this kind of detrimental language, there's got to be a point where it can't be sold to minors.
He's trying to establish that point through legislation prohibiting kids under the age of 18 from buying music deemed by the music industry as offensive and abusive.
It's okay if the music industry wants to voluntarily label, but we need the stores to comply by restricting sales in a manner that is reasonable and not overly burdensome.
He says it's patterned much like practices by movie theaters. Kids can't buy tickets for rated R films unless accompanied by an adult. Petri Little of Record Express says when it comes to music, kids often fly solo.
9 times out of 10 we'll ask for ID, but a lot of times we don't ask for ID because they come in asking for it by name, and most of the times they want the artist uncensored.
And some music fans say an age limit would not silence that desire to get the uncensored versions.
Kids are going to get it anyway, whether they get it at the store, whether they get a bootleg.
Now, this issue will be the topic of a public hearing at the Judiciary Committee. It's tentatively set for March 5th. Dennis and Denise.
Channel 3's Dee Griffin tonight.
We'd like to know what you think. Should CDs with warning labels be off limits to those under the age of 18?
We invite you to surf over to WFSB.com, click on the music label story, and vote yes or no.
It is a chilly night out there, but come this time tomorrow, besides the cold, we could see some snow.
It is raw out there. Meteorologist Miles Muzio is in the Doppler 3000 Weather Center with the forecast. Miles.
That's right. It is cold outside, and it's going to continue to be cold tonight, and then we may see some snow tomorrow. Let's take a look at the current wind chills in and around the state. Ay, caramba, it's 16 below. That's what it feels like at Windsor Locks. You can see along the shoreline. It even feels like it's below zero. And it's cold, but look what's coming across the Mississippi River right now. Even as we speak, it's snowing in St. Louis. That's the same storm which is going to be here this time tomorrow. In fact, it should probably get here in the late afternoon. And so the blue light is illuminated. That's for moderate snowfall. Could see 3 to 6 inches now in the southeastern part of the state. And that's where the snow is going to be heaviest. Off to the north and west, probably more like 2 to 4. Extreme northwest, only 1 inch. So looks like southern New London, southern Middlesex County, perhaps the New Haven area over to Old Saybrook could get the most snow from this thing, which is coming up tomorrow at this time. I'll have more details on that in just a few minutes. Denise?
All right, thanks, Miles. Friends of the Clintons are calling it disastrous, the latest scandal in the presidential pardons investigation. We're now learning Hillary Clinton's brother, Hugh Rodham, was paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for successfully lobbying the White House to pardon 2 convicted criminals. Glenn Broswell, who was convicted of fraud, perjury, and tax evasion in 1983, was pardoned. And Carlos Vignali, a convicted drug dealer, had his sentence commuted. The former president issued a statement tonight saying neither Hillary nor I had any knowledge of such payments. We are deeply disturbed by these reports and have insisted that Hugh return any monies received. CBS political analyst Gloria Borger says the revelations are devastating for Senator Clinton.
With one top Democratic strategist tonight, Dan, after this story broke, and he said, look, what worries us the most is that this story is not yet over and will continue to unravel and unravel.
Hugh Rodham has reportedly returned the money. So far, there's been no comment from Mrs. Clinton's Senate office.
Accused killer Michael Skakel came home to Connecticut today to be arraigned for a crime prosecutors say he committed more than 25 years ago. The 40-year-old nephew of Ethel Kennedy said nothing as he passed by a phalanx of reporters from all over the nation. Inside, Skakel did not enter a plea, but his attorney argued for his innocence, saying Skakel did not kill Martha Moxley. Moxley was beaten to death with a golf club in the posh Bellhaven section of Greenwich back in 1975. Skakel was arrested just last year. Police say Skakel is guilty without a doubt. His attorney says Skakel is innocent and he will fight to the end to prove it.
The question is there any chance for a plea bargain in this case? Not a shot in hell. I can't be clearer than that. Not a shot.
I think it's about time, really. I think he and the family have been trying to hide this for a lot of years.
Skakel has requested a probable cause hearing set for April. Witnesses will testify then so the judge can determine whether there should be a trial. Now, tomorrow is a big day in the Adrian Peeler double murder trial. Today, the defense rested its case, and tomorrow the jury will be brought to the Bridgeport home where 8-year-old Leroy Brown and his mother, Karen Clark, were gunned down in 1999. Prosecutors say the boy was killed to prevent him from testifying against Peeler's brother in another murder case. Russell Peeler was convicted last year of ordering the murders.
Since the 1700s, citizens of Guilford have gathered on the town green to meet, greet, and deliver messages.
In December, the erection of a menorah on the green raised a big question. Should religious symbols, in this case an icon of the Jewish faith, be allowed on public property?
It was the hot topic at a public forum tonight, and Channel 3's Lou Martinez was there.
There are no signs of religious symbols on the green right now, but some citizens are letting the Board of Selectmen know that if they allow one religious symbol, they should allow them all. And if they exclude one, they should exclude them all. The town green has been an important symbol of every Connecticut town since colonial days. In Guilford, what goes on the green has sparked some controversy within the last year.
Supposedly no religious symbols. We don't consider the Christmas tree a religious symbol.
That's what the debate is about, whether the town has the right to allow certain holiday symbols on the green and not others.
I think it should be an open thing, open to all. There are various groups in this town that don't celebrate Christmas, but celebrate other things, and they should be represented on the green.
I would hope that our green could celebrate and enjoy the diversity and the beauty and the varieties of grace among us.
Guilford came under fire this past year for allowing a traditional Christmas tree on the green and not a menorah. The board eventually reversed itself and allowed the Jewish symbol.
As far as religious, unattended religious displays, we do have some latitude as far as allowing a Christmas tree and allowing a certain number of religious displays or allowing none.
The Board of Selectmen will take people's comments into consideration when they make their decision in about a month or two. But they say they're a little concerned that if they allow religious symbols on the green, that these symbols don't get out of hand. In Guilford, Lou Martinez, Channel 3, Eyewitness News.
While some people prefer the Christmas displays, others are still urging compromise.
A 19-year-old Putnam man is under arrest tonight, accused of yelling racial slurs at a high school basketball game. It happened last night in Woodstock during a game between Woodstock Academy and Plainfield High School. Police say Brad Herlihy directed the slurs at another fan during the national anthem. Herlihy is charged with intimidation, based on bigotry or bias, as well as disorderly conduct. Now, police say he admitted that he drank a few beers before the ball game.
Doctors may have a powerful new weapon in the battle against breast cancer. It's a new technology that reveals patterns of gene activity inside cells, quickly determining which type of breast cancer a woman has. And that will help doctors select the most promising treatment with the fewest side effects. The research is reported in the New England Journal of Medicine. And there's more news on the gene front tonight. Scientists at the Harvard School of Public Health have now identified a gene that may help explain why moderate drinking can ward off heart attacks. A variant of the gene makes the body break down alcohol very slowly. And this slow breakdown appears to raise the levels of HDL, or the good cholesterol, which protects the heart.
A behemoth of bucks is up for grabs tonight. The Powerball jackpot has been climbing for weeks, reaching $91 million for tonight's drawing. Grab those tickets. That music means we have the winning combination. They drew the numbers just moments ago, and here they are: 4, 10, 32, 39, 45 in the Powerball, Denise?
Oh, the big 25. Good luck to you all.
We'll have those a little bit later on in the newscast as well, if you didn't get them right now.
Still to come here on the Night Beat, is it good old-fashioned punishment or a crime?
We're talking about a belt across the buttocks here. A New Haven minister faces criminal charges after he used a belt to discipline children in his care.
Plus, we head to Los Angeles for more on Grammy night in reaction to tonight's controversial show.
Plus, from Eminem's shady lyrics to Puff Daddy's weapon trial, watch and decide if you want these stars to become your child's heroes. You're watching Channel 3 Eyewitness News NightBEAT at 11. This is Connecticut's news station. Tomorrow on Eyewitness News starting at 5.
What we have here is a sculptured cameo vase.
Your home, your antiques, our appraiser.
Oh, my.
Do you have anything lying around your home that might be worth a small fortune? Well, we're going to meet 2 Connecticut residents who hit the jackpot.
Watch the local newscast that connects with you. Channel 3 Eyewitness News starting at 5. Border to border, person to person. Channel 3 Eyewitness News is Connecticut's news station.
Last night,
Oh my God, my button's unbuttoned.
it was Dave's Heated Oscar Talk with Julia Roberts.
I don't have to win because I have my own golden man at home.
Tonight, don't miss Samuel L. Jackson.
You're watching Channel 3 Eyewitness News NightBEAT with Denise DeCinzo, Dennis House, Miles Muzio, and Joe Tessitore. This is Connecticut's news station.
Tonight, a New Haven minister is accused of taking the Bible too far in his physical discipline of an unruly child. Reverend Walter Oliver could go to jail for using corporal punishment to discipline the children he counsels. He was arrested for it on Monday. Well, today he explained to Channel 3's Shari Sadeh what he does and why he does it.
This is the belt that I use, what I call a holy spanking. Well, the Bible says that we should not withhold correction from the child. If you beat him, he will not die. You save his soul from hell.
A doctor at the Yale Child Study Center told Eyewitness News today the Reverend has the wrong idea about discipline. Now, earlier, we put that question to you. Is it okay to use corporal punishment on children? An overwhelming number of web surfers at WFSB.com said, yes, it is okay. 78% yes, 22% no.
A public memorial service will be held in Charlotte, North Carolina tomorrow for racing legend Dale Earnhardt. Today, family members and a handful of close friends gather for a small private funeral in Mooresville, North Carolina. Police blocked the streets around St. Mark's Lutheran Church, a church Earnhardt and his wife regularly attended. Earnhardt died Sunday in a crash on the final lap of the Daytona 500. And tonight, racing fans in Connecticut gathered to remember Earnhardt. Dozens stood quietly in line for the chance to sign a massive condolence card that will be sent to the Earnhardt family.
A surprise witness could be called to testify against Sean Puffy Combs in his gun trial later this week. The witness, Matthew Scar Allen, was taken into custody by Maryland authorities today. Police say Allen had the dispute with Combs that sparked gunfire in a New York nightclub back in December of 1999. He agreed last month to testify against Combs, but fled before he could be called to the stand.
Well, you just saw the Grammys here on Channel 3, and what an eclectic group of nominees they were.
Yeah, indeed. Elton John even teamed up with rapper Eminem. They even hugged. but giving accolades to some controversial performers has once again fueled a big question. Who is a role model for children and why?
Channel 3 Sarah Barr looks at hip-hop for an answer.
But you're under arrest.
First, kids wanted to stand tall like John Wayne. Then kids wanted to be like Mike. Now it's hip-hoppers like Sean Puffy Combs asking your kids.
But I like it when they like rap and they get down and dance and stuff.
I like the way they dress. A lot of people, they wear baggy clothes and they think that's just it, but you have to have the attitude that goes along with it.
There's a real good musical quality to it, and it's got that rebellion. It's got that, that independence.
Psychologists say as kids near adolescence, parents are no longer a slam dunk when it comes to being role models. Friends and celebrities become powerful forces. For this generation, hip-hoppers like Puffy represent success.
Nationally, Puffy can be seen as a role model because here's a guy who didn't finish school, who came from a home that I think his father passed away, and he made it, big.
Entertainment lawyer James Walker has a musical connection to some hip-hop artists, but mostly gospel ones, and a college connection to Puffy. Walker thinks being a role model is something that is bestowed upon you, fairly or unfairly, but Walker reminds us we are all human.
There's sometimes a tendency to think role model equals perfection.
I'm Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady. Some parents think hip-hop lyrics are far from perfect, promoting violence or putting down women. But kids we talk to seem to tune that stuff out.
When they start cussing, I gotta go to another room. It connects with the kids, but it's not the lyrics. The lyrics are awful.
Does that mean your kid, if he really likes that music, is going to run out and get into crime? Probably not.
Psychologists say kids of every generation have their musical rebellion, and hip-hop is just the latest version. Remember Elvis, the Beatles, Black Sabbath, The Clash? Even Mozart was considered a rebel in his day. I'm Sarah Barr, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Psychologists say harsh lyrics alone will not influence your child. Those who are around negative images through family, friends, and entertainment are more vulnerable to adapting that kind of behavior.
And we invite you to join us tomorrow on the Night Beat for a peek inside Survivor. We'll hear from Rudy from the original Survivor and get his take on the new cast course Survivor, 8 o'clock right here on Channel 3. We'll be right back.
Dear Slim, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling. I left my cell, my pager, and my home phone at the bottom. I sent 2 letters back in autumn.
It just may have been the most anticipated duet in Grammy history.
Celebrated and reviled, rapper Eminem, whose lyrics have been criticized as anti-gay and anti-women, teaming up with the openly gay Elton John.
As protesters gathered outside, the performance went off without a hitch. The pair even embraced at the end, and they got a standing ovation as well.
The Eminem-Elton John performance was just one of the highlights of music's biggest night of the year.
And the stars were out in full force in Los Angeles as they handed out the Grammy hardware. Madonna kicked off the evening, adding electricity to the 43rd annual award show. But all eyes were on Eminem as he took home 3 awards, including Best Rap Album.
I want to thank everybody who could look past the controversy or whatever and see the album for what it was, and also for what it isn't.
Other big awards went to Macy Gray for Best Pop Female, U2's Beautiful Day for Song of the Year and Record of the Year, and Shelby Lynn for Best New Artist.
Among those in Los Angeles to take in the Grammy hoopla is KISS 95.7's music director Mike McGowan.
Mike joins us now live from outside the Staples Center in Los Angeles with more on festivities tonight. Mike, good evening. I want to ask you a couple surprises tonight. What did you think were surprises? Yes. I know Denise was pulling for Britney Spears, but Macy Gray took it.
Well, I think one of the big surprises for me was the boxer, Oscar De La Hoya,
being nominated for a Grammy. A lot of people don't know that he actually has an album out. He didn't win, but that was probably the biggest surprise for me. Also, there was talk about hecklers here at the Grammys for Eminem, and it certainly did happen in row 13, right behind us. A guy stood up just as the performance was happening, started screaming at the top of his lungs. Luckily, the music was loud enough to drown him out, and they dragged him out. So it went off without a hitch. Everything went pretty well.
Mike, what was going on during that duet, the Eminem and Elton John duet? What was it like being in the audience there?
Well, luckily, Chris Walsh, my buddy who was with me from KISS 95.7, got us into the second row, and we were right there. And it was a good performance, and at the end, Elton and Eminem actually embraced, which was nice. And I don't know if they showed it on TV, but Eminem then flipped the bird to the audience, which I thought was a little bit inappropriate. But other than that, the thing went well. It went well. It was a good performance.
We didn't broadcast that moment here on Channel 3. We missed that.
This is a family program.
Exactly. Mike,
Yes.
who did you see tonight of famous faces?
We saw, you name them. My neck hurts from turning around, looking at all the stars. Everybody was here. Actually, Madonna opened the show, and I have some of the confetti that came down from the roof. I don't know if you saw that during the broadcast, but it was unbelievable. She did a great job. But everybody who's anybody is here out in Los Angeles for the 43rd Annual Grammy Awards, and it went great. It was a great show, and I think John, the host, did a great job as well.
Mike, is this your bodyguard behind you with the glasses on?
That is, who's that? That is Chris, yes. That is my friend. He does the KISS Club on KISS 95.7. He's making sure that no one attacks me here tonight.
Looks like Chris does a fine job. All right.
He
Mike
does.
McGowan.
And he's paid handsomely as well.
I'm sure. Mike McGowan joining us live from Los Angeles. Thanks so much.
Thanks,
Great
guys.
job, Mike.
There was a Connecticut connection to tonight's Grammys besides Mike McGowan. Joseph Firecrow of Winstead was nominated in the new category of Native American music for his album Cheyenne Nation. The category even made it into the prime time show. In the end, however, Joseph did not walk away with that Grammy.
Now, from the Doppler 3000 Weather Center, Miles Muzio.
Sunny Los Angeles, a world away from Connecticut, that's for sure, because it is just bone-chilling cold out there and will continue to be tonight. Now we're going to talk about a little bit of snow coming up for tomorrow. Here is the forecast first. We're looking at the road there. Looks like Interstate 84, if I'm correct. Here's the forecast first for tonight. Clear, windy, 12 degrees, and probably a wind chill about 12 below zero. Mostly sunny tomorrow to begin with, and temperatures would be right around 20. Along the shoreline, it's clear, windy, and cold as well. Teens with wind chills close to zero, and mostly sunny for tomorrow. Right now, it's 19 degrees outside. The dew point is back and forth between 1 below and 0. Look at the wind blowing out of the northwest. I thought I saw 17 for a while there. The pressure is rising quickly, 30.31. Here are the temperatures. You can see the ambient air temperatures are in the teens for the most part. The wind chills are, in many cases, below 0. There's 16 below at Storrs, 15, 14 below at Waterbury. Here are some other temperatures around the region right now. We are in the teens, as you can see, in many spots and getting colder. Around the region, teens. It's very cold up at Mount Washington with ridiculous wind chills at Mount Washington. Deep space cold there. You can see we've got another system moving across the Mississippi River right now. That is tomorrow's little snow that we're going to have. And you can see it continues to move in our direction, but it is a little bit to our south. The heaviest snow will probably be from New York City and south, not so much in Connecticut, although we are code blue now. We got the blue light out, and that is for 3 to 6 inches of snow, which could cause some trouble across the southeastern part of the state. The rest of the state will probably see 2 to 4 inches. Here comes the storm. It's across eastern Tennessee tomorrow morning and moves to our south, giving us a good dose of snow, especially in the southeastern part of the state. Here's the forecast for tonight. Windy, very cold, wind chills 10 to 20 below zero. And for tomorrow, look for sunshine to begin with, snow by sunset, 2 to 6 inches possibly in the southeastern part of the state. Will be in the 20s all day. After that, it looks like the system zips out pretty quickly on Friday, so Friday will generally be fair with temperatures into the 30s. We could see some freezing rain develop by Sunday afternoon. That'll be the next problem that we'll have to deal with, and we'll wait for this weekend to deal with it. Back to you in the studio.
All right, thanks, Miles. Joe's here now with sports.
The two best teams in the Big East were going at it tonight, and fittingly, their back-and-forth game went right down to the wire. A prayer of a shot won it, and coming up, you'll see it.
The Connecticut Pride are practicing and playing for pay, and they're pretty happy about it. I'm Eric Clemens at the State Armory with that story coming up.
And the Pack has reason to talk smack. A great night for Hartford hockey. NightBEAT Sports is next.
Tomorrow morning on Eyewitness News starting at 5.
For my next challenge, I head for the bowling lanes with 96.5's Damon Scott. See who outstrikes who at the alley.
Watch the local newscast that connects with you. Channel 3 Eyewitness News this morning starting at 5.
Hollywood's battle with weight. Why Carney Wilson needs more surgery. Regis' new co-host, Before and After, and Nell Carter's 100-pound weight loss. Plus a star's wedding and celebrity kids next ET.
Tonight after Letterman on Channel 3.
Tonight's lottery numbers, the play 3.
3, 2, 4.
We're singing because it's Grammy
Sure
night?
we are.
Okay, the play 4.
8, 8, 9, 4. The octave thing, is that right?
Awards here. The cash 5.
2, 3, 16, 17, 19.
Tessitore.
Timid, the Powerball tonight.
4, 10, 32, 39, 45.
The Powerball number is 25, $93 million up for grabs.
This is terrible television, people. We apologize.
And the Mass Daily, 7976.
That is. If you listen to all the preseason hype, you would think that a February meeting between the best in the Big East would have included Seton Hall and UConn, but here we are, March right around the corner. Notre Dame and BC still hold the top spots in the conference. They met up tonight in South Bend. Talk about luck of the Irish. An alley-oop pass goes in for a three-pointer. 53-45 ND. Boston College comes back. Ryan Sidney and the foul. Eagles take the lead in the final minute. But Notre Dame had magic left. Martin Inglesby, look at this miracle shot. The leaner, 3 seconds left. Last chance for BC. Troy Bell slapped away. ND celebrates big time, 76-75. Elsewhere, Rutgers over the Hull. They have mailed in their season. And St. John's holds on by 3. Georgetown misses a last-second shot. Of course, the UConn men resume Big East play on Saturday. That's when they host Miami, a must-win situation. Following Monday's loss at Syracuse, the Huskies' RPI rating dropped to 60th. Now UConn has to win out the regular season to have a realistic chance for the NCAA tournament. Some former UConn Huskies are also worried about taking a step forward after the CBA's financial disaster. Now the Connecticut Pride are just 2 days away from playing pro basketball again and keeping their NBA dreams alive. Eric Clemens reports.
They came from the roads and airports, many arriving within an hour or so of practice. They signed IBL contracts and went right back to work, at least for the next 2 months. Yes, most faces were smiling tonight. The Pride held an official practice for the first time in almost 3 weeks.
I'm really excited about being back on the court and giving myself another opportunity to get back to the NBA. You know, I think the guys we have out here are going to play hard, and they understand that, you know, we only have 9 weeks. So our window of opportunity to go do some things, and especially for me to get to that league, to that next level, it's closing very quickly. So I'm grateful that we're playing again.
Connecticut will be inserted into the IBL with a beginner's record at 0-0. And though some rust has set in, head coach Tyler Jones expects nothing less than excellence.
Our expectations will always remain high. No matter what league we're in, we were one of the best teams in the CBA over the last 3 or 4 years, and there's no reason not to think that we're going to play competitive basketball and be one of the better teams in the IBL.
Yes, sir. For now, at least the future looks quite predictable. With the trading deadline coming up tomorrow, a few of these guys might get a look from an NBA team. Meanwhile, the IBL schedule begins here at the Armory on Friday against Trenton. I'm Eric Clemens, Channel 3 Sports.
Thanks, EC. Johan Holmquist for the Pack tonight, 36 saves against St. John. Meanwhile, Ken Jernander gets them on the board 1-0. Mike Motto would have another one. The Wolfpack win 2-0 at home tonight. Real good win for the Wolfpack. Was that Donnie Marshall with a beard I saw? Yes.
Looked like Donnie.
Do we like that?
What do you think?
May take a little getting used to.
I'm going to support it because, see, we can't grow facial hair.
I liked
here
it
at Channel 3.
I do in about 3 hours.
And that'll do it for Eyewitness News Night Beat. David Letterman's coming up next. Good night.